Yeah. See, we'll simply have a discussion, okay?
The
Most of you are from PUC background, right? So you have studied physics, properties of matter, then material classification. All these things you have already studied. So, gathering all those things, summarizing all this, just can anybody tell me why we study electromagnetics? Why we should study electromagnetics? Okay, some answer I have got. Let me check. Fine. The answer is okay. To understand the propagation of light through tissues. Okay. One more answer. These fields are used to transmit information over long distances and form the basis of telecommunications as well as radio and television broadcasting. Okay, you are very much specific. You're talking about communication in terms of electromagnetic waves. Okay, one more answer for understanding the electronic devices working. Fine. Uh, whether every matter exhibits charge. One more answer I got. Let's see. It connects electric and magnetic field. Fine. So many different answers I'm getting. Few more I expect. Let us see what are your perspectives. Why we study electromagnetics.
ma'am, to study the wireless communication and radar technology.
That's what, to be very much specific, when for communication purposes these electromagnetic waves are required. That is your answer, right? See, if you are an engineer, okay, you should know the
Yes,
technicalities behind any of the subject or any of the process, okay. uh, अगर just one example I'm telling you, एक television set है. If you are repairing it without knowing any of the technicalities, what is that component, what it does, how it works, without that, if you are able to repair a television set, then you are not called engineer, you are called a technician. Okay, और वो जो repair shop में जो रहते हैं, okay, they are not called engineers. Remember, engineering is about designing, understanding the insight. So, as you are all telling me the answer about electromagnetics, it's moreover for communication purposes. And you know already we are now in 4G and fifth generation is about to come. So for communication purposes, the major role played is electromagnetic radiation or propagation of light, propagation of wave in general. Okay. So any of the process, how it happens, what is the technicality, what is the insight of that phenomenon, that is very much essential to understand for an engineer. That's why this subject has been inculcated in your engineering syllabi. Okay, not even for electronics, even electrical students has to study this, electrical or even a telecommunication or electronic engineer. These field people has to study this subject thoroughly. And yes, tell me what a matter is made up of. You have studied chemistry, okay? केमिस्ट्री में आप पढ़े हो, एटम के बारे में पढ़े हो, बोर्स थ्योरी, जेम्स चैडविक, many scientists discoveries you might have gone through. So tell me what a matter is made up of. MATTER, matter. Matter किससे बनता है? Molecules. Yeah, atoms or molecules. Inside that, what will be there? Inside atom, what will be there? You have studied this. Okay. So basically, three different types of entities will be there: neutrons, protons, and electrons.
Protons, neutrons, electrons.
Yes, and inside that, actually, again, there are two parts in any of the matter, sorry, atom, the central nucleus and surrounding that orbits. Okay, this is all the theories which you have already studied. Okay, I'm just revising that thing. Inside that nucleus is made up of two different entities, and electrons will be revolving around that. Now tell me, what is the role of electrons in our electronics part? You're now electronics and communication engineering student. So what is the role of this electron in electronics? Instead of typing it in the chat box, better you unmute and answer, even if it is a wrong answer, no problem. Let's have a discussion. Current flow. Okay, fine. Current flow. How you're associating? Okay, because the flow of charge is called the current. Okay. I'm asking about, you might have studied this in physics or even in the first year, the structure or the material classification and the band theory, wherein the materials are classified according to its structure. Okay, how the inside binding energy will be there, or how these atoms or molecules, they are structured inside that particular material. That material classification is conductor, insulator, and semiconductor. Okay. Now, what is the role of all these three materials in our electronics? Role of this material classification. No one? I hope you remember the band theory and the material classification. Try to remember it. What is that band gap, forbidden energy gap? Try to recall material classification. Three materials we classify: conductor, insulator, and semiconductor. Yes, semiconductors are used for electronics. Okay. Now, which property of semiconductor makes it so special for electronics? We could have used conductor also. We could have even used insulator also. Why not? Why not those? Why we chose semiconductors only? Energy band gap. Okay, a very much technically specific answer. Energy band gap. The reason is that, yes, this answer is very common and understandable. The answer is in the chat box. They can be made, it can act like a conductor at some temperature and insulator at some temperature. Okay, semi. Okay, it can behave in both sense. So we make use of semiconductor, that we use that thing. Now, if you go through the structure of a semiconductor, what is so special about it? You have studied this also. The electronics part in your PUC physics, it starts with the semiconductor structure. You should quickly answer me. Yes, Akshata, Saumya. Okay, Hajra, we make it fine. Saumya, electrical conductivity. Okay, the same. P type and N type. Holes and electrons are used for charge carrying. Okay. My question is, but to be very specific, what is so special about semiconductor structure? What is the atomic number of for semiconductor? Which material you use? Two very famous. Okay, very first one is silicon only. The other one is sometimes germanium. Fine. So in silicon, what is the atomic number of silicon? Yes, silicon and germanium. Fine. Atomic number, I think it's 14. Yes, 14. So if you just analyze the structure of this semiconductor silicon, how many valence electrons you find? 3? Okay, no, it's not 3. Yes, Shilpa, it's correct. 4. Tayyaba, 4. It's not 3. It is, that's why we call it as a tetravalent, I guess. Okay, tetra is 4. So in its atomic structure, if you see, the outermost orbit has got 4 free electrons in it. Means those 4 electrons we can make use of. Okay. Hence, we even just tell me this term, what we call it. Semiconductor in its purest form. What we call it? What we term it? Semiconductor in its purest form, pure form, as it is, taken as it is.
Intrinsic semiconductor.
So again, the classification in that we come across intrinsic and extrinsic. So what is extrinsic semiconductor? When we add certain impurity into the semiconductor to make it functional, okay? We can use that. Intrinsic in its purest form, we don't have much use. But however, when we make it extrinsic, when we add a dopant in that, because of its structure, 4 valence electrons are available in its outermost orbit. So if we add a dopant, again there are 2 types of dopants, if you remember, trivalent and pentavalent. So if you add those, that particular, whatever inside things happen, bonding happens, the holes gets created, electrons gets created. Just now somebody had put it in the chat box, p type and n type, all those things, these basics have already studied. I'm just overviewing this. Okay. So when we are adding a dopant, then that extrinsic semiconductor will be much more useful for us. Semiconductor in our electronics. Now why I'm asking this electrons and all, because what is that thing, for see, nucleus has got proton and neutron, and electron is outside. Okay, it is revolving around the this nucleus in a specific orbit. Now what is that thing which is holding that electron? It could have come inside and it could have been dumped into the nucleus. It can come because oppositely charged particles are there. Okay, electron is negative, proton is positive, so opposite charges attract. So it might happen that the electrons which are revolving around the orbits, they can get attracted to the proton and they can sit in the nucleus. Why this won't happen? ये क्यों नहीं होता है? Very good, Aisha. It's held by it's not actually electromagnetic force. I don't know, I'm not sure. Nuclear force. No, it's not nuclear force. Some specific term is there, I guess. I don't remember. Force we call it. You can just go through it afterwards. I forgot that which force is there, but certain kind of force is there which is keeping that electron intact within those orbits only. Okay, so the role of this force is very important. Okay, whenever the charges exist, just now I have seen in the chat box, the flow of current exists, right? When the charges move with respect to certain time, the current flows. So the existence of charge, then the existence of force, all together, how this is bound in the atom in general, or in a matter, or in this entire world, because everywhere, the complete world is made up of particles, atom, matter, everywhere we can find it. Even our human body has got that, right? But Why we didn't we you see, if two friends are standing, if one person touches other's hand, why you will not get the shocks? Tell me. Yes, I think electromotive force. Fine. If you touch your friend's hand, why you don't get the shocks? Because we are all neutral. Okay. So overall, why I'm asking this is, you should be knowing about this force. Okay, this force that exists within a matter, within an atom. And no doubt, this is not only one type of force. Actually, in nature, 4 different fundamental forces exist. You should know this in general. 4 different forces. Anybody, which are those 4 forces? You may be knowing in general, but not specific. One is this electromagnetic force. It exists, okay, between the materials. Okay, one is electromagnetic. Remaining very popular, yes, gravitational, correct. Second type is gravitational force. Another 2 fundamental 4 forces are there in nature. Nuclear force, yes, a strong interaction we call it. Very strong binding, that is nuclear force. Then one more is weak, that is probably radiation we call it. Okay, so 4 different fundamental forces exist in nature. Out of these forces, one of the force is electromagnetic force. So the study of this electromagnetic force is electromagnetism or electromagnetics. Now, when you come across this word electromagnetic force, 2 terms are involved. One is electric, the other one is magnetic, or very obviously. So tell me, what is this electric? When you hear this word electric, what comes to your mind? Charge. Yes, very good. So electric means charges. So do you think electric force exists with all the kind of charges? Current. Okay. So wherever there is a charge, whenever we are dealing with any charge, yes, in general, electrons, whatever, charge is fine. Whenever we come across charges, the concept of charges, electric force come into picture. About magnetic force, when you hear this word magnetic force, what do you think when this exists? When magnets are there, then magnetic force exists. Is this the case? Yeah, anybody? When this magnetic force, this word, when you hear, what comes to your mind? Just like when you hear electric force, charges comes to your mind. Magnetic force means, okay, when metal comes in contact with electric field. Okay, metal comes in contact, opposite charges. Yes,
When two
that's very
objects
good.
are
Yeah, yes. When two objects are,
when two
yeah, please.
objects are charged.
When two objects are charged. Okay, it's incomplete. When two objects are charged. So magnetic force, when this comes, actually Hajra has answered it well. She is very specific in this. It is magnetic force lines. You must have heard this word, electric lines of force, magnetic lines of force. So whenever the current fields, the current flows, or whenever a charge exists, around that charge electric field exists. Okay, likewise what is the criteria for the magnetic field to exist? Tell me. When I say there is a charge, I say that around that charge electric field exists. जहां पर भी चार्ज रहेगा उसके सराउंडिंग में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड रहता है. सिमिलरली मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को एग्जिस्ट करने के लिए व्हाट इज द कंडीशन? चार्ज का रहना जरूरी है. ऑब्वियसली चार्ज है तो ही इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है. उसके बाद what is that important condition? Yes, very good, Samina. It is motion of charges. Very good.
Ma'am,
Yes,
excuse me, ma'am. It's the consequence of the electromagnetic force with one of the four fundamental forces of nature, ma'am.
yes, electromagnetic force is one of those forces, no doubt.
And it is caused by the motion of charges.
Yes, that is correct answer. Motion of charges is the criteria for the existence of magnetic field. जब मैं बोल रही हूँ एक चार्ज है, एक रूम में एक चार्ज है, I will surely tell that वो चार्ज के सराउंडिंग में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है. सिमिलरली अब मुझे बोलना है कि चार्ज है, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, तो उसके लिए कंडीशन ये रहेगा कि वो जो चार्ज है इट शुड फ्लो, इट शुड मूव. When that charge moves, then magnetic field gets created. Okay, condition for the existence of electric field is the presence of charge. Similarly, the condition for existence of magnetic field is the flow motion of charge. Remember this. Now tell me whether this electric field and magnetic field, no doubt they are two separate entities. Do you think that they exist separately? अगर वैसे होता तो आपके सब्जेक्ट का टाइटल इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिज्म नहीं होता, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स नहीं होता, इलेक्ट्रिक वेव्स होता या फिर मैग्नेटिक वेव्स होता, राइट? So when these two words, two entities, electric field and magnetic field, when they are clubbed together in this word electromagnetic waves, in the sense these two things they work together, as you said, moreover for communication purposes. If you go through YouTube and try to search how your mobile phone gets communicated to, or how your call gets communicated to your friend when you dial a number, you try to check in the YouTube animated series, electromagnetic waves from your cell phone comes out. Your voice when you speak inside the mobile, the device or the component whatever is there inside, it will first convert your audio signal into electrical signal, and then this electrical signal in turn gets converted to electromagnetic waves. Okay, from the antenna, when it gets radiated into the air, I'm very much specific about wireless communication. When it comes out of this antenna, it comes as electromagnetic waves. Okay, hence these two entities, electric and magnetic, these two entities, they are combined together. They both are clubbed together for our use. Okay, it is of most important. Till many years people used to think this electric field, electricity specifically, and magnetics or magnetism, these two are two separate things. Okay, but when this Maxwell, when he experimented, when he published few papers regarding this, how electromagnetics is combined, how it acts, then people started doing research about electromagnetics, making two things together, which gave us very good results actually. Fine. So I hope now you know what is electromagnetics, Okay, why we are going for this in specific, and just now I have used one scientist name, Maxwell. Have you heard this word anywhere? Maxwell? Somewhere, probably in physics. Or have you heard this word? Maxwell. I think you have studied Maxwell's equations.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, he's the main contributor. Okay, he's the main contributor to electromagnetics, no doubt. After this Maxwell's equations came, the basic theory of electromagnetics he proposed. Then even Faraday, okay, he proposed many theories. Then Heinrich Hertz, many scientists have contributed towards this, but the base was Maxwell's equations. Okay, so in this electromagnetics, you will be studying this, the basic phenomenon of electromagnetics. Basically, this subject is all about analysis. Okay, we are not, practically taking any device and going into it and checking what is happening, how the fields look like. No, we don't do that. We analyze the situations. Okay, we analyze the situations. The problem with the electronics is that only, we just check the concepts which we cannot visualize. But let's see how we can do this at our best till the offline classes start. I hope you uh, enjoyed this first session of discussion. Have you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hopefully no one is sleeping. That's why I'll try to avoid taking this class, 4th hour. You'll sleep otherwise. Okay, one more important thing. I think this Zoom class will now end. Before that, I hope everyone has you have registered yourself through your USN, and password you should enter, register yourself. Have you done that? Okay. Once you register, now I have taken the class. Once I upload the related material, in that only I will upload today's assignment also.